Whoa, that's dark. Hello everyone. Hope you guys are having a good day. I am having a great day. I cut out the word friend for some reason. Got a little thing, something in my throat. Oh, 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 that's a terrible way to start off the day. Need some water real quick. What the fuck was that? That just came out of nowhere. All right, today we are going to go over a Strongholds on Plaza. I don't think I've done this game type, or even maybe this. No, I think I've done this map before, but it was like a while back, so I'm excited to do another one of these. This one's gonna be TripChee. TripChee is we got a history together, so I would say 5.5 years ago, I started doing these for Halo Reach, and I would just go over gameplays, and it'd take like an hour and a half each time instead of the normal like 45 minutes, maybe 30 to an hour that I'm doing currently. And I went over one of his gameplays. I believe it was I can't remember the map, what it's called, but I do remember what it looks like. Anyway, so we have a long history together, so I'm glad he's still competing. Glad he's still submitting games too. Interested in the stream. I see him in the chat a decent amount of the time. So I'm happy to, get started with this. I don't really have anything else. I mean, actually I do. I'm gonna upload the last 3 games of last night from the finals to YouTube. I feel like that's something else that I can do that's not specifically review oriented. That way I'm actually mixing this stuff up a little bit. So yeah, look out for that. We won the tournament last night and it was exciting. So with that said, let's get into the game. Short and simple start. So going down to hotel. Oh, one of these laggy games, huh? Oh my god. Can 343 please fix? I mean, quite simple start here. He went to snipe. He got a kill because someone wasn't looking at him. And that's about it. So good stuff here. Capping bottom mid. Great stuff. I mean, this is mostly his teammates doing the correct things, but I think their starting strat. I think the red team starting strat of not sending a guy nest is a problem, and that's why this all happened. Burton not listening to callouts. I mean, this is just strong play from TripChee doing what he's supposed to be doing. Loses the battle a little bit there, but understands that he doesn't need to win that battle, so good play. Oh, look at that. Watching the spawns. This is not something that, like, this is something that people are getting better at, but it's still not like at 100% where people like know that's gonna happen. That's not like standard Halo knowledge. But watching that top blue spawn to see if they spawn there, because that's where they'll usually spawn. They don't spawn in blue. They spawn like the top of the blue ramp. Great start so far. Oh, hold up. Let's watch this again. Oh, oh. One, two. Oh, you got shot from the side. You were trying to play it off well. I would say you could have. I mean, obviously you could have stayed alive there, but no big deal if you do or don't. Because it was a tight situation. I knew what you were trying to do. I think that's fine. You end up getting the trade kill, stopping nest anyway. But you can't look at that. So I've been talking with my team about like plays that have been made, and you can't look at the results and justify the play. You can't say, oh well, we kept nest and bottom mid, and because of that the play was fine. You got to look at the play and say, no, I made a mistake there, and generally it won't turn out that well. It just did this time. So that's what you got to keep that in your head every time. When going over when going over gameplays, you can't just say like it worked out well. You gotta say, was it supposed to work out well? Good grenades. You can play a little bit more aggressively because you had both of them with grenades. You backed them up. Your teammates are collapsing. You could have played this a little bit faster. Again, wouldn't matter much in this situation, but so when your team gets 2 kills here, you want to be focusing on controlling this area of the map, like right here, this entire area. So let's back up, go forward, and see if I can time this perfectly. Great. All right, so Why does it always do that? So, looking at where all your opponents are, there are 4 alive on each team. So when your teammates get kills, this guy Yardledge for example, and Spooky gets a grenade, you and Spooky should be pushing this guy glass, and your opponent and your teammate should be pressuring at least. Maybe one guy falls back to block spawns. It just depends on how you guys want to play it. But you going top middle here does nothing. Like loop is where you want to just make like clear out. So even though your teammate got 1 kill there, like there's a good chance there's a second guy there, which there was. But even so, you want to have the idea that it's cleared out. Like there's no one that's there. It's not you always want to be looking for players. You want to be looking for this area of the map to control so your teammates can know where they want to be looking. So if you have snipe and loop control, then they've got to go blue, and you can't go from blue to snipe. Like, look how open the like area is from blue to snipe, and like you get shot once, you have to hide behind blue truck. You have to go bottom snipe. You're useless. So if you get loop control, your opponents have to go all the way back through yard to loop. But because your first instinct was to go top middle, your teammate ends up dying, and now you're pressuring for a trip cap. This is super scary, and I would say like 90% wrong. I could be like, I think there's a 10% chance that I just like don't understand this game at all. Relatively. You go down. Yeah, your opponents are getting sniped, right? Your blue team. Yeah. So again, this is just wrong. And we're gonna talk about why. So your teammate ends up dying. And when your teammate ends up dying, and you push off the good spawns to pressure the trip cap for the bad spawns, your teammate gets bad spawns, which means that they get good spawns. And if they get good spawns and you get bad spawns, you're losing, right? So your teammate ends up going down. You guys make the call to go for the trip cap, and that guy's got loop control. Like, this isn't gonna be a W. One of your teammates is dead and one of your teammates is in cafe. You just gave up everything that you worked so hard to control for the last 2 minutes because you wanted to push a trip cap. Now whether or not you get it or not, it doesn't matter at all because they've got snipe control. You want them to have yard, not nest. I mean, unless you guys have a different way of playing the game than we do, like than everyone else does. It's just like a last second fight for bottom mid. Everyone's scrambling, and all of this didn't have to happen if you guys just didn't push any yard. That's a 1v2 for control of bottom mid. Don't end up winning the 1v1, and you guys have lost. I mean, like, that's simply put, like, you guys had a 43-point run. This could have been a 60-point run at the minimum if you didn't make that play. Not at the minimum, but this probably would have been a 60-point run if you didn't make that play. Now everything's gonna turn around because they've got nest. They're pushing the trip cap. They've got nest bottom mid and going for yard. If you don't win that fight, which you're lucky that you do. If you don't win that fight, everything like you guys are in some shit. Going for the shoddy. I mean, I hate going for the shoddy. I feel like it takes too much time, but I understand why. Like you just win some fights that you're not supposed to win. Oh shit! Nice double kill. Good job, good job. Oh, this is such a weird spot because look where they're spawning. Oh, notice how I just like turned my camera there because I know they're spawning there. This is exactly how you should feel too. Your team went from like kind of went into blue. You're blocking the spawn sniper ramp by getting a kill there, as well as your teammate fighting there. So there's no one spawning at snipe. So that means they're either spawning top blue ramp or loop. Most likely loop. Like, unless your team's loop, they're spawning loop. So you can't go help. You're stuck here. But you do have a double cap, so it's not like the worst. And your teammate somehow wins that fight at snipe. Like, that teammate should not have won that fight at snipe. I don't know how that happened. I'm not going to watch it because I don't care. But that shouldn't be happening. And, like, that makes everything easy right in here. Holy shit. Holy shit. Alright, so now your opponents are getting yard. They have nest. You're still fighting for nest, so that's good. I think you could have went nest here. Your teammate gets 1 kill, and then if you help with the second kill, that's a control on nest. But you go for the flank and for the shoddy. Wow, that's some Oh, that's some lag right there. Oh my god. That was disastrous. Let's watch this again. So, I absolutely hate when people like, don't think about anything but the power weapons. Because when they don't think about anything but the power weapons, map control is lost. So you see the shotties down here. Like this is what you're looking about on your death cam, right? So you like instead of helping your teammate out at snipe, who's solo capping snipe and pushing the trip cap, well actually you're just trading yard for nest here. So if you don't get nest here, your opponents are like you're gonna be funneled into spots that you don't want to be funneled into, and then you just go for the shotty. Like that's just bad. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean like you had an idea, you wanted to get the shotty, but I'm just saying like this is wrong. Like your teammate won a 1v1 and then he's forced into another 1v1 with his opponent like having some help from glass. So if he's gonna die at snipe, which he does die, and they get the reset, now you're just like, congrats, you have a shotty. Right? Like there's some lag here. I think it's probably on your end as well. Yeah, because you like go for the shotty, you're useless. If you would have kept snipe there, they would have been forced up soda stairs where you can easily grenade, like easily fight them, and then you could have gotten the shotty eventually. But because you just like wanted to get the shotty, you again you have a 50-point lead. It's going down right here. They have nest and bottom mid. You've got yard. Then this fight was just out of desperation. Oh my god, what was that? You guys see that? That grenade just stuck in the ground. Like hit off an AR or something and bounced towards him. So yeah. Alright, this is where you need to beep, bop, boop, reset. Alright, you're not going to take snipe. Maybe you could take snipe. Why do I keep getting beeps on my computer? Alright, so you're probably not going to get snipe in this position. You need to reset, go through blue, go to yard, and like get kills. You can't just like go for a stronghold here. And like unless they make a mistake. Versus a good team, this isn't gonna work. Like, wow, that guy gets a trade. And now you're gonna be in a 1v2, but you do have positional advantage, so you might be able to get this. Yeah, only because like that. Only because that happens, right? Like they just jumped at you and like fell, so they couldn't even fight you anymore. Like this guy top middle isn't even pushing like soda to top snipe. Like the fact that you probably capped this is just a travesty. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Like they should get 40 points right here because you like 1v2 because they're awful. I mean, because they made a mistake. Then everything just like goes well for you. And then you end up going down, but that's fine. You don't know where the safe space is, and you want to be useful. You don't want to just drop bottom snipe and waste 8 seconds of your life. You'd rather like take a chance. So I like that play. All right, you need to stop here. Stop right now. Like maybe shoot the barrel S4 and then hide S4 up here and tell your teammate like we're in fucking trouble. You know they're gonna push this push this cap here. Yeah, it's gonna be Justin's gonna go top middle, I think. Maybe. He goes flowers. Oh, he is going flowers, right? Yeah. So you guys are getting claps on. They should probably send 3 people here. Why can I not go to your screen? They should probably send 3 to nest and stop you guys, but I don't know. But yeah, look, this shouldn't be a thing. Holy shit. All right. So yeah, I get like this is just the point where you need to reset. Alright, I'll tell you exactly when. So fast forward, you die, you respawn, your teammate dies, there's nothing that you can do. The only thing that you can do is hold on to nest if they like YOLO for it. So you shoot the barrel, you get S4, you stay alive. But instead, this happens, whatever this is. Like, sure, you could have gotten a trade, but there's no way in hell that you should have gotten a trade there. Even if, like, you play it well, like, the individual battle well, the idea that you're running at a guy like that, you shouldn't be able to get a trade. So the fact that he almost gave you a trade is just terrible. Alright, so again, your teammate's 2 dead. Like, you just came off respawn. Your only guy alive is at nest. You need to push into yard right here. Simply put, just take yard. You go into glass. Like, this is just wasting time. This is giving your opponents a lot more time to fight you in yard. Ends up working out, though, because instead of fucking going for nest, they're just, like, doing whatever the fuck it is that they were doing. So, I hate this game so much. And then you're like trying to get the stop on nest, which isn't going to happen. Again, I say isn't going to happen while watching this before it happens, because like theoretically you shouldn't be able to do anything here. But this is, I've seen some shit happen so far. Yeah. Yeah, that looks exactly how that was supposed to play out. And then your teammate takes yard alone. Your teammate had the right idea, but because you guys were already going up sodas, there's no reason for him to go yard. This is just like, that was just a disaster. And I'm just gonna play it. We're gonna forget about that. So how you guys get nest control is beyond me. Just I don't even care about that death, because those kinds of deaths happen. Like, you can minimize those deaths, but those deaths still happen all the time. So your team is 2 dead again. You go for yard. You say beep bop boop reset. Your teammates are not coming off spawn. Your teammates are 3 dead. You're in some trouble. You better not get in this hill. TripChee, no! Alright, the fact that you got him 1 shot so your teammate Spooky could kill him, another travesty. But we'll let it go. Alright, so your opponents still have nest and yard and everything. They've got a shoddy in yard. This is where it gets weird. You need to, like, you can make plays if you want. As a neat play jumping over the splinter. But now your teammates are off spawn. Now they're going to come flowers to yard. Now you guys are going to be able to take yard. This is good. This is good. Still not watching your yard BR, but the idea was good behind it. Wait for you to spawn. Jesus Christ, what's going on? Wait, where did you just respawn? Alright, so you respawn in blue. Your team still doesn't have yard, but they're going to get it. And then you just like fall bottom mid. I don't know. You try to fight, but you don't see the guy bottom snipe. That death probably shouldn't have happened. Like, that's not one where you can cut down. That death probably shouldn't have happened, but we're going to gloss over that. Right, good job grabbing the SMG. Alright, you gotta pause for a second. Like, look, your team's all dead. Even if you like put shots on people, what's it gonna do? There's a barrel right next to you. Like, there's so many things that could go wrong right here. It's a good thing. Yeah, good. You paused. A little late, but you still paused. Like, you shouldn't be getting this almost trade, because again, you're like pushing out before your team's ready. So this is something that I've been talking with my team about as well. Like on these stronghold game types, when you're the first, when your team's off spawn, they can't just spawn and fight with you. Like they have to work. They have to work for their positions, and then once they get in positions, then they can help you. Just like you did. You spawned in blue, or you spawned somewhere. Yeah, you spawned in like yard, and then got the SMG, and then started working your way out. Like your team can't just like all spawn loop and fight with you. So you've got to wait for your team. Look, they all went back into yard and started doing things, and that's good. That was good from them, because you can have like 2 go into yard, 1 goes yard ledge, 1 goes flowers, and then 1 goes loop. The last guy that spawns goes loop, like that guy right there, and then you can get help. But your death just delays the push, and I say delays the push because it should delay the push, but this is some game types where Spooky just gets the pick off on Frosty. And then you get 2 dead. Now you guys can push. Like, that shouldn't have happened. But anyway, now that you guys have gotten 2 dead, you guys are starting to take control. I don't really like the hotel push, but I do like the hotel push. This is kind of a weird situation. In general, I hate going hotel, but I think in that position it was okay. You're forcing the spawn bottom snipe because they aren't gonna spawn yard, and then you can start pushing. You get caught off guard by a camo guy. He doesn't kill you for some reason, then he just dies. Whatever. Shot by your teammate. All right, that was a decent push. Like this is like the standard gameplay, just like at the beginning, you know, when you're doing standard stuff, standard gameplay. This is the same thing. You get nest, you look soda, you try to fight them. They get in bottom mid, you contest. This is a good play. I get into a fight, guys one shot, you make sure to kill them good. Now you've got them 2 dead. You don't need to do anything. Like, well, I mean, this guy's a nest. I'm saying you don't need to do anything unless they do something. You react to them now. Like, you kind of get your positions at posters, maybe go loop, maybe go into, like, you can go into blue, but don't push in a yard. But you just keep control of your snipe area. And, like, you react to them. If they go up soda, you go to soda. But they're going for nest, you go fight for nest as well. Good job only getting hit by 1 pulse grenade there. 4 players going into nest. Well, that's better than the red team's 2 that they sent that one time, but 3 is okay. But yeah, now you guys need to push out, which is probably what you guys do. Nice, good fighting mechanics here. You need to not die. That's all you have to do right here. Not die. Ah, let's rewatch this. So your main objective is to not die. And in past reviews, I've talked about not dying. And the main mistake that people make is that they take too much damage in their small time fight, that it makes them an easy target for opponents once the real fight happens. Once the opponent tries to pick you off. So we'll watch this. Watch as you shoot the guy light rifle, and you get shot by him too much, and because of that, you end up dying to the guy loop. So how much do you need to shoot this guy? Look at Danny's position. Look how easy Danny's going to get the kill on Justin, while this guy Bry is going loop. So let's slow this down. I guess you dodge your grenade, but you still have a thrust, and you see him. Man, you could have thrusted to the right. I think, yeah, I mean, I was getting into a spiel, and I think that spiel that I went on was okay, but in that situation, you just didn't thrust to the right, simply put. But you just can't, like, you have to be in the mindset, like, you can't die in that position. Listening to callouts, not checking your posters, that's kind of scary, but it works out. Oof. Ah, teammate, where'd you go? What is going on? And then you trip cap and win the game. Alright. So yeah, this is kind of what I theorized with a lot of players. So when they play against teams that they're like decent against, like, alright, so in Halo, when you play against teams that you're decent against, like it's like a 50-50 battle, you're really fluent in movement whenever you're in the lead. So when you so when you have control, you'll see that your movement is so fluent, and you're able to like know where you want to go. Like you're like playing standard Halo. But when you're behind, when your opponents have control, you're not quite sure what you want to do. And I think I can attribute this to matchmaking. So when you play matchmaking, most of the time you're playing versus weaker opponents, because we're in the top like 0.1%. Like this gameplay is in the top like 0.1, maybe like 0.01% of all Halo gameplay. And so when you go into matchmaking, there's like you're matching the 1 percenters or the 0.1 percenters, where you know you're gonna play against people who are a lot worse than you, and that's just how matchmaking has to match you up. So you're gonna get into that flow where you always play from the the strong areas in the map. But when you get put on the weak areas, you don't really like have to do anything to break it. But then once you play against teams that are like decently skilled, the same average skill as you, then when you're on the like you got to break the setup, you don't really know how to do it, and that's because you haven't practiced it as much. And it doesn't have anything to do with your team because when I'm going over these reviews, it's individual. Like as an individual, you can know like what your team's supposed to be doing and like how your team can and can't help. I can't really like give you a doctor's note on how to get better, but that's just something you want to focus on whenever you're in scrims. Like if you play scrims, um, you want to say like I gotta really buckle it down on how I want to break these setups. So think about it, talk to your team about how you should do it, go over your own games. When your opponents have control, like look at it and say like, should we have won that fight? Like, did we do everything that we could have to win the fights? Like to break the setups? You know. So that's just like my theory on why players aren't as good as breaking setups. But yeah, like again, you can see how fluent TripChee's movement is when he's like in control of the map. Haven't had a team for the last few months until a couple days ago, so it's been only for me. Probably has gotten me into a few bad habits. Yeah, it's a little bit of bad habits. You're right. But yeah, like that's all I can say about that. So that's it for today, guys. This was a rather short one, only about 30 minutes. There's a lot of trip caps going on and a lot of standard Halo play going on. I liked the amounts of Halo I talked about today. I do have a lot of things that I have to do by tonight. Got practice later tonight, hopefully, as well as some meetings that I have to go to and errands that I have. So, with that said, I have to cut the stream early. I was giving myself until the end of the game. So if the game lasted like an hour, I could have talked for an hour, but I can't, like stretch it out. So, thanks everyone for watching. I will see you guys next time.